Hello, my name's Charlie Roadhouse, and in this video I'm going to be walking you through how we can bring together all the things that we've learnt throughout our programming and our story-based sprints to help you create your final game, or maybe at least the ideas of what your final game is. So by now you should have seen all the programming aspects, and you should also have an idea of your story. Maybe you're coming to the point where you want to start putting it all together, but you don't know what to do. So I've got some examples of different ways that we can build our games. So this in front of me here, we have our rooms dictionary, which you should have been told to create, where I've just got a description for the room and the exits, where our room is our key and the value is what we're going to print to the user. And I've got this is a really basic game, there's no puzzles, there's no inventory. And we just have here, so we've got some, well, we're starting in the current room and we have game over. Now you should have looked at the loops, and this uses a loop, so we have while the boolean value game not over is not true. This is what that not means. So this means not true. So while our game over is false, we're going to run this code within a loop. So we print out the room with our current room and it gives the description. We then print out where the different exits are by getting the keys, and then we ask the user where we want to go. We then have an input which is set to this. We then check, so if what the user has written is in our rooms dictionary or is in one of the exits, we set that room to the current room. We then have an elif which checks to see if they've wrote the word exit, it'll simply stop the game, and if not, it'll say invalid choice, try again. Once the room is equal to garden, it will say congratulations, you found the garden, you win. So I'll give you a quick example of this. So we can see down here, let's make this a bit higher, we've got some data. So let's go into the living room. Okay, so now it says I'm in the living room, it's cozy with a fireplace. Should I go into the kitchen or the bedroom? I'm going to go into the bedroom. There's nothing there, so we'll go back into the living room. Then I'm going to go into the kitchen. Then I'm going to go into the dining room. Then I'm going to go into the garden. So that's the sort of thing you can see there, how I've chained this all together. There is another example, so I've got another example here that we can go to. And this is quite a lot bigger in scope in terms of game, and it implements methods. So there's an optional video on methods that you should have a look at. So what this game does, and I'm actually just going to show you because it'd be easier to walk through it, is we have a game loop here in our main method, which prints out all this information to begin with. It then asks the user for an input option, and it will then simply move them in a direction, and it'll give them a bit of narrative. And each time it moves, we're going to go into a different room. So I'll show you this. So where do we want to go? So you find yourself in your childhood bedroom, stood in the hallway. To your left you have your front door. In front of you is your dad's old office. To the right is the kitchen, and behind you is the dining room. You have to get out of the house. Right, so let's first go left to the front door. You go to the front door and turn the handle. You need a key. Dad used to keep his key in his office. He returns to the hall. Okay, so I hope you can see just there how that sort of things work. So what I did was here is I've gone and I've printed this message because I know from the beginning you can't go to the office. So now that I know this, let's go into Dan's office. So we want to go forwards. I walk into the office, and you can see this game is a lot more. It's a larger scope. It's got a lot more to it in terms of the different places in the room. So you can go to shelves, to desk, a bookcase. So if I go to his desk, and then it says, where do I want to look? It says there's loads of things in front of me. He's got a packet of custard creams, a photo of my sister Jess. There's that sort of thing. And at any point I can leave and return back to the hall. So this game is massive in scope, and it is. There will be a link to this game somewhere on the course, so you can have a look through it. Obviously, this is a really basic story example, but in terms of programming, it's quite well robust and made. So we'll just get out of that, and we can. So all this code is for you to look at, and there's quite a lot. So, and I know it can be daunting, so don't worry about it. But this is the sort of thing, and that you could be using. So here's an example of a puzzle where I'm asking the user to basically solve a multiplication between a random number between 1 and 10, and it uses an inventory system. You need to find the key, so you put your key in the inventory system. There's a few other things that I'll leave for you to look at when you come to it. But if you've followed the course, you should be able to grasp at least a basic understanding of most of this code. Obviously, this is this uses the dictionary method, which I probably would recommend for the dictionary method for the main game. But I was just, I want to show a few examples because there's nothing stopping you from doing different things. So anyway, I hope this has been a brief example of how we can bring things together. Obviously, you might be working in a team for this, so you'll have cooperation between people to bounce ideas off. And obviously, the internet is your friend. If you are stuck and you don't know where to start, have a look on the internet. We gave some examples of code before. So yeah, I hope the game making process is fun, and I'm looking forward to playing your games. Thank you.